So howdy.
Howdy.
I'm Marzia Karsh. Most of you know me. One of you met me. I talk about educational technology. And a lot of this is also going to fall into consumer technology. And most of this is coming from two conferences that I attended this year, and I just had not had a chance to present everybody what I learned from them. So there was CES, which is a consumer electronics trade show, the world's largest consumer electronics trade show. I think they broke records with attendees, like 150,000 people in one convention center. It was crazy. Yeah, that's the one in Las Vegas in January. And then South by Southwest, which is, they have an interactive, you hear about the music and the film festival, but they also have an interactive conference, which is the week before, and that's what I went to. And that is in Austin in March. So feel free to stop me and ask lots of questions and get off track. It's awesome. I'm good with that. So what the trend that's really coming down from everywhere is that we're moving into a post-computer world. You know, we're moving away from having a desktop computer that is the primary focus of all your computing power. People are moving to mobile devices, phones, tablets, and even possibly beyond that. You know, some key things there is, do you all know what augmented reality is? Okay, so augmented reality is, you know, reality as you see it, but beyond that. So you can take phone cameras right now, you can view through the camera lens, so it's showing you that, and then it's tagged with more information, such as, you know, facial recognition or maps, directions. So you're seeing reality, and then beyond that. The PlayStation Vita, which just came out, that's a big component of that, is that you can play games where you pick up your PlayStation. You're seeing what's behind you, but then it's overlaid with a game layer, so you're, you know, shooting the aliens that are buzzing around, or tablets, you know, have different apps that allow you to do this too. As we go, we're seeing that the tablet isn't necessarily going to stay as a tablet. This is a Sony device that folds up. So you've got two screens, and it works like two screens when it's unfolded. It runs on Android, but then it folds up to, you know, store in your purse or wherever. I like that one better than the other Sony tablet, which is a big, thicker. It's supposed to look like an unfolded magazine to be more comfortable to hold, but it just took up a lot of space. And in spite of all of that, really the iPad is still king of the tablet world. If you have to pick one and you can only afford one, go with the iPad. There are more of them out there. I think of the tablet devices right now, number one is iPad. Number two is the Kindle Fire, which runs on Android. And then the rest of them are all just kind of bit players. But, you know, when I talked about going beyond earlier, I don't know if you heard the news about this. This is a picture of Sergey Brin of Google. He's walking around with augmented reality glasses, which Google is designing. Apparently these are really, really early stages, so they spent more time rebooting than they did, you know, actually doing what they were supposed to do. But the idea is that eventually you won't need a separate phone. This isn't a phone accessory. Eventually this is the phone, the whole thing. So right up here it shines up there so you can see out of the corner of your eye and interact with it with voice commands and motion control. So there's the
front of Strand Books at 2. Oh man, really? Sweet. Remind me to buy tickets for Monsieur Gano tonight. Where's the music section? Oh, yes. This is it. Is Paul here yet?
We're not gonna need to know
Hey, dude,
anything anymore.
how's it going?
Just keep moving.
Sure. Hey, just a second. Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. A lot of stumbling and progress.
See you, dude. Whoa, cool.
You know, Google's also developing the self-driving car. I think it's not a coincidence.
Well,
that
that,
we got
yeah.
it at the same time.
Oh, I'm running late. Music, stop.
Hi, what's up?
Hey,
Hey.
you want to say something cool?
Yeah, sure. Is that ukulele?
Yep. Okay, here goes.
It's beautiful.
So that's their vision. Now, of course, there's tons of parody videos of you know, people running into things or, you know, oh, not that jerk. Don't sit. Wait. You know.
Yeah. You're really gonna have to be careful.
But in a way, where it's moving though is it really we're turning ourselves into cyborgs, that we're augmenting things that we don't do well, like remember directions to everything, or you know, shout really long distances, and we're attaching those with machinery to ourselves. We already do that to an extent with the phone. It's just that the glasses would be an extension of that. And Google may not get there first. Everybody else is developing one. And they've been working on this for ages. Google's just made a big splashy announcement that they're working on one. So, you know, don't be surprised if eyeglasses gets there first. Another trend that you're probably already seeing is the, you know, what's called the gamification, that everything can be turned into a game. That, you know, you check into places, you know, there's a running app that's called Zombies Run, so that you know, are given a location to run from the zombies, and, you know, and that's because, you know, games are fun, and when done right, they enhance learning, they enhance you know, any activity that you want to do. One of the things that I saw at South by Southwest was a presentation by Jane McGonigal, who wrote Reality is Broken. It's a great book on game design, and, you know, why people play games and how they can be motivating, etc. And one of the things that she's making is a game called Super Better, which is available right now. You can log in. It's I think superbetter.com, and the idea is that it's a self-improvement game where you've set your own goal as to what it is that you're going to self-improve, like it can be weight loss or learn something new or recover from something. She originally came up with the concept after she had a concussion and was having horrible depression and problems from it. So she decided that she needed a game to help her recover. And that she would enlist her friends, and it's instead of post-traumatic stress, it's called post-traumatic growth. It's the opposite of that. So that's the goal of the game. But something similar to that, or even, you know, a custom goal, can be incorporated in the classroom. You know, because the whole thing is the only competition here is yourself. It's all self-reporting. It's all, you know, how you do it, and that leads into self-hacking, meaning that you decide on your own things that you're going to improve about yourself, and you can use technology to measure and improve that. You know, energy drinks, I suppose, would be one primitive method of doing that. That you're deciding that, you know, I'm tired and not concentrating enough. I need to do something about that. But there's also a lot of them. I've got a slide that shows it, but like this is the Fitbit, which is a pedometer. Also a sleep tracker. So if you can measure it, then you can change it. If you can see whatever it is, then you can change it. They had several sessions at South by Southwest on people that were just dedicated to self-hacking, and, you know, here's the following statistics that we found that would improve this, et cetera. Like they were saying, 7.5 hours of sleep a night is the ideal amount. That above that, concentration tended to go down. Below that, concentration tended to go down, et cetera. And then something that we already see on campus is simulation. So here's the Super Better logo, Fitbit, oops. And then our simulation. So simulation, you can enact a scenario without having to actually do it, and you know, at OHAC they do a great job of using that to the fullest advantage. So they don't have to actually cart in specifically ill people to have nursing students work on. And, you know, and the technology really helps enhance what they do. You know, the trend towards social is not going to go anywhere. It's still, you know, we're still very social creatures, and we're still going to find more ways to enhance that with technology. Two things to look at in the near future, if you haven't checked them out already, are Pinterest and Instagram. Pinterest is a social visual bookmarking site that people share pictures of things that interest them, and they can sort them out, and they can follow other people. It's an extension of Delicious, which used to be, you know, a bookmarking site that used to be very, very popular. Delicious is still around, but it's kind of waned in popularity, and Pinterest is starting to grow really rapidly. I think I heard that it was one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing, social networking sites out there now. And it's dominated a lot by women, and a lot of it is shopping and craft items that they make a visual bookmark of. You know, I want to try this out. You know, I want to try this recipe. I want to buy this, and sort it and share it with others. A lot of people are taking interest in that because that's going to drive marketing and business interest there too. Instagram, which just got bought by Facebook, is a phone app that's also a social network. Pull out my phone so I can show you Instagram. And it's a fairly simple, also visual, photo sharing. So you take a picture, and then you can add some visual effects to the picture to make it look kind of old-fashioned, like a Polaroid, or, you know, you can enjoy the peeling the back off and making it look messed up. So there's a picture that I shared, and it also allows you to share instantly to several different social networks at once. So you can share across to Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr, and share it instantly with everybody or within Instagram itself. And it's the instant sharing of visual information that's become so popular with that.
So that is an iPhone thing?
This is an Android. It works on either.
It works on it.
Yeah, which was a big announcement at South by Southwest, is that they developed an Android app, because it was iPhone only for a long time, but it was hugely popular. Another trend that's not going to go away, that's only going to get more so, is ebooks. If you're not already seeing students demanding ebooks, you will see more and more of them. Unfortunately, the textbook industry is not very happy about this and is trying very, very hard to resist. Now, I didn't put Amazon Mobi files on here, but that's the primary way that you find ebooks is iBooks, which are on the iPad or iPhone, EPUB, which works with most readers, and then the Amazon Mobi format, which you get from the Amazon bookstore, and doesn't work on any of the other readers because they're fighting with each other over standards, and standalone apps that are the book. And that's the primary way the textbook industry right now is trying to operate, is by selling apps. And sometimes they're doing really kind of insane things, like, you know, it's $120 for a textbook for the semesters, but you can buy for $110 an app that expires after one semester. You know, but it has a few pictures that you can click on. I think that that's going to get itself sorted out, that eventually the textbook industry is going to figure out that they are becoming irrelevant. And one of the ways that they're becoming irrelevant is through iBook Author, which at this point only works on iPads. You can use it on Macs, is how you make iBook Author work, but the iBooks themselves work on iPads and iPhones. And, you know, it's Apple only, but because iPad has such a huge advantage in the tablet market, it tends to work out okay. And from an accessibility standpoint, iPad is the only really accessible tablet right now. They have some sort of accessible-ish features, and some of the other ones. I went to an accessibility conference earlier and handed a couple blind people my tablet and said, "Okay, how accessible is this?" And they're like, "Not very." You know, the iPad, it's only got a certain number of positions where you can put your finger for where the buttons are, right? So you can figure out where to place things, and you can turn it on to instantly give you feedback as to where you've pressed on things, and give you the option of moving your finger elsewhere if you've incorrectly selected an area, and everything talks back. And then iBook Author, that makes the iBooks, that's also very accessible. It's got those functions built in. Beyond just being a book, it allows you to incorporate pictures, slides, 3D objects that can be turned around and examined, movies. It's actually pretty cool, but iPad only. So, but I think the other thing is the textbook manufacturers are going to have to look at this and say, you know what? If we don't start offering conveniently packaged and reasonably priced items for students to consume, then faculty are going to start making their own books. And I think that'll happen anyway, because it is now, you know, within the realm of possibilities to do that. It's not like where you had to go through a big deal. Another trend you're going to see a lot of is the appccessory. An appccessory, yeah, I showed you my Fitbit, and that's the great example of one. An appccessory isn't the phone or the tablet, but it's something that makes the phone or tablet better. Now this Fitbit is a pedometer, but it sends my information wirelessly back to the internet, so I can track it. I can look on my phone and see how many steps I've had from my phone. And it integrates with a bunch of different apps if I wanted to use different weight loss apps. On top of that, you can get, this is the Whiting scale, and the makers of Fitbit have another one called the Aria. That when you weigh yourself, it also sends that to the internet. It sends the information to your phone. So your phone can then analyze, you know, your weight in the morning and the number of steps you've been taking and any information you log in about eating and say, well, this is your plan for the rest of the day. And that falls right into the self-hacking there. You know, you need to, move a whole bunch more. To that candy bar, you need to be jogging a marathon. But so here's an example of a game that uses the augmented reality. So he's looking through at the living room, and he's got this case that allows him to shoot. It's sending a signal to the phone when he's shooting there, so he can see the things. This one, I've got this one at home. It's a Disney game with cars. So you take your iPad out, and it's got a road with cars, and you move the cars along the road, and it actually makes the road move like you're driving around. The way it works behind the scenes is that when you're holding the sides there, you're holding a conductive surface, and it's transferring that down so that it can detect that you're touching it in that space there. I've seen there's zombie games, there's airplane games. There's a whole bunch of different games that use these apps. There's a card game that's just coming out that's like Dragonology, and a bunch of other ones. But educational accessories are coming too. So you can have cards that you touch the card on the tablet and it comes to life. You could have augmented reality from the other side that you're looking at it and it's got a code that makes something else come out. Hello. Here's a video game. So it holds onto there and you've got a video game stand to play old-fashioned video game. This one is a remote control. Your phone becomes the remote control to drive this car. This is the Nest thermometer that was debuted at CES. It's our thermostat. Sorry. So you've got a smart thermostat for controlling your house that you can also control from your phone. So you can say, I'm going to take a little bit longer getting home. Why don't you wait another hour to crank on the AC? Here's a piano tutor so you put your tablet in there and it gives you piano lessons and feedback on how you're playing. So you still have the full-size piano keyboard, but you don't, well, sort of foolish, but not trying to put it on top of a tablet. So you've got that feedback for your fingers, but at the same time you get the analysis of the computer. Because now our computer is something small and portable that we can take with us, and we just enhance what it is instead of trying to make it, fit to the desktop. I also saw a ton of camera accessories. There was a camera lens that fit on an iPhone, so that it made it take a 360-degree photo of everything. It could take live video of a panorama, so you could get both people in a conversation by holding up your iPhone like this with the lens on it. Another thing coming out of that is everybody's coming out with a smart TV, but nobody can agree on how that will look. And that's something that will have to resolve itself. Google's got a platform, and Yahoo tried for a platform, and Samsung and LG, and all of the TV manufacturers have their own thing. Basically, everybody's going to have TVs that can connect to the internet and get content and run apps. But how that's going to look exactly is to be decided. Apple has the Apple TV, which is right now just a set-top player and is supposed to eventually run apps. There's been a long-standing rumor that they're going to release a full-blown integrated TV, which I hope they do, because that's what I have a book contract on. But on top of that, it's smart everything. The thermostat was going. They had washers and dryers And everything else, you can control it from your phone. Everything becomes a massive accessory. You no longer need to go to your desktop computer. And, you know, it may be in the very near future that students will finally get to the point where, you know, if they have a keyboard, they don't need to have a desktop computer at all. Another trend that there was a lot of is motion control. The Xbox Kinect was, I believe, the fastest adopted technology to date at the time. They introduced it, and then it was almost immediately taken up by everybody who had an Xbox. And what it does is, if you're not familiar, is that it's a motion sensor. That it's not just a camera. It's actually it's two cameras and a sound sensor, I believe, all in one, and it pivots so that it can do a little bit of tracking, and it can actually detect full body motion from multiple people at the same time. And that's why you get dance games that can actually track where you're moving. But beyond that, you can actually hack that Kinect and hook it up to a regular computer and have it control things. And everybody else is making some sort of motion-controlled device separately. I believe it was Samsung that had a TV that was motion-controlled. That they demonstrated that you could actually, it would recognize with facial recognition separate people and let you control, you know, the programs and the apps and anything else going on there. It was kind of funny watching it because we own Xboxes, and he's like, okay, now how do you think it is that you're gonna select this item? And we're all like, and he's like, no, grab. Like, you know. Another trend that is coming because of the internet and because of technology is free classes. Yay, free classes. If I had more detail on there, I guess it just didn't get saved. I had some more lines on there. But it was like just today or yesterday, I think, that MIT and Harvard announced an agreement that they're going to offer more free classes. They won't offer degrees online, but they'll offer certificates of mastery for completing free online courses. And Stanford's already had a large offering, so that's some premium content right there. I'll tell you, it takes a lot of dedication to go through those free online classes. You know, you've got to set up the time and be determined and do it, but it really changes the game now that we're looking at education differently. I had this one just for you. And one of the other trends is recognizing that it's not just about learning programming. It's not about just learning the technology. If you're going to raise the next generation, you're going to have to teach them to be technical entrepreneurs, that they need to know business sense beyond just programming it. And you know, all of the great companies that have come along and made tons of money have done so because they had that combination of technical skills and entrepreneurship. I saw a panel from several Austin area colleges, and they were talking that all of their technical programs now, that they're offering entrepreneurship classes to combine with that. And then finally, I wanted to talk about the trend that's happening after all of this, is that rather than building separate integrated services, what's happening is that we're actually building a lot of silos on the internet, that it used to be that you went everywhere on the internet, but now places want to keep you there. This was the wrap-up session. They discussed that these silos currently are Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Facebook. that once you start using the service, they want to keep you within that loop. That may seem like a good thing, but it's also a bad thing in that those silos are not immune from tumbling. If you look at Nokia, they went downhill very fast, very rapidly within a year. And the same thing could happen to any of these companies if they make a misstep. You know, the wrong thing could send them tumbling just as easily. So that's all I had on my slides.